Thanks for joining me for yoga today. Let's start out in a standing position. So just standing up, take a moment to let your hands rest down by your sides and just rock back and forth, lifting your toes and then lifting your heels. Start to breathe, inhaling deeply and lifting the chest, and then exhaling, letting the chest fall, letting the shoulders draw down your back. If you lose your balance as you go back and forth, don't worry. You can take your time, kind of find the balance, maybe take a few breaths up on your toes. And then sink back into your heels. Try to pull your toes back toward your shins. You'll feel a stretch in the bottoms of your feet. And then just start to go back and forth again. Nice and slow. Take it at your own pace. Make your legs really active. Feel your feet pressing down into the floor beneath you. Keep relaxing your shoulders. Try to breathe deeply. And again, don't be afraid to lose your balance. All right, so let's let the legs be still. And then one at a time, take the tops of your feet and just press them down, just like this. And you may even get a little pop, kind of like the same thing when you pop your knuckles. The same thing can happen in your toes. Let's go once more to each side. And then come back to center. Have your feet about hip distance. Bend your knees. Make sure your feet are really active here. Take your arms down by your sides and then inhale, swoop your arms up. As you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Take your fingertips to your shoulders and start to circle your elbows around. Take your time here. Just let it feel good in your body. Make these circles as big as you can, just going back and forth. One way a few times and the other way a few times. Keep the legs strong, keep pressing down into your toes. You can add the rocking back and forth here too if you like. All right, one more round of breath here. And as you exhale, let your hands come down and then inhale to swoop them back up. This time as you exhale, bend your knees and fold over your legs. Relaxing your head so you're looking straight back. Keeping that slight bend in your knees. Just let the head hang. Take your hands to your elbows. And just wave from side to side. You can bend your knees a little more here if you like. Just see what feels good. Go with it. Try to aim the crown of your head down. Head nice and heavy. Now take your hands down. Just walk your hands all the way as far as you can go to one side and then all the way over to the other side. Take your time. Just let it feel good in your body. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You may find that when you go to one side, it helps a lot to bend the opposite knee. Take a few more rounds of breath here. Try to keep inhaling and exhaling deeply. Good. And now come on back to center. Inhale and roll up, arms back up. This time as you exhale, reach forward as you fold. Plant your hands, step your feet back to a high plank. You can always have your knees down here if you want. With yourself in plank position. Try to press back through your heels if your knees are lifted. Take your shoulders down your back. Good. All right, from here, hug your elbows in. Take a big inhale, press the back up toward the ceiling, and then exhale, lower down. Try to come forward on your toes as you lower down. Then let the bottom half of your body just relax onto the floor. Keep hugging your elbows in and really press into your palms, gripping the mat to pull your chest forward. Try to press down through the tops of your feet. Your gaze is a few inches out in front of your fingertips. Take another inhale here. You can lift the chest a little bit if it feels good. As you exhale, let's come into down dog. So send the hips up and back. Bend your knees. Move your hips around. Anything that feels good in your body. Take your time here, letting the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings, lengthen out. It's a big bundle of muscles in the back of each of your thighs. So give yourself some grace, so to speak. Try to keep those muscles nice and long and loose. So bending the knees as much as you need to. Let's make our way forward to the top of the mat. You may walk. Another option we'll talk about really quickly is to hop. So if you want to try hopping, bend your knees so you're in this crouching position. Really grip through your fingertips. Look at that space between your hands. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. And after your exhale, bring your feet forward. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Try to pull the chest forward. And then as you exhale, fold back in. Inhale, roll all the way up. And let's do that again. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a full round of breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold out and over the legs, bending the knees on the way down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Look forward. Exhale, step. You can also hop here. So, using the muscles of your low belly, if you want to hop, send the feet back, bending the elbows on the way down. Let the legs come down. You can have the hips lifted, or you can keep them down. These are just options. Take another inhale wherever you are, and then exhale your way back to down dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. One more round of breath, and after that exhale, after the out breath, let's bring our feet forward, either walking or taking a little hop. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, roll up nice and slow, sweeping your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take your hands down by your sides. Roll your shoulders a few times in each direction. Try to press down into your feet. You can have them together or you can have them about hip distance. And now start to circle your head around. Take your time. And go in both directions. Then come back to stillness. Bring your hands together. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale, step or hop back, lower down, elbows in. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, back to down dog. Take a full round of breath. And then bring the knees down nice and wide. Sink the hips back to the heels. Let your arms extend out in front of you. Head is nice and heavy. Just take a few rounds of breath here, nice and slow. Feel free to take your hands down by your sides if that feels better. And now on an inhale, let's tuck the chin, roll up nice and slowly. And still sitting on your heels, let's take the backs of the hands to the thighs. Let the shoulders relax down the back. Start to reach your right ear down toward your right shoulder. Full round of breath. And then inhale your head back to center. Exhale your left ear down toward your left shoulder. Just feeling that stretch all along the right side of the neck. Inhale your way back to center. Exhale, tilt your head back, lift your chin. Feel the front of your throat open up. Let's take the hands behind us, interlace the fingers, and then start to straighten the arms. You may be able to lift your hands away from your back. If that feels like too much in your shoulders, just relax You can let your hands just rest down, kind of loosen things up. So whatever feels best to you. Start to tuck your chin, bring your gaze to center, and then look down so your chin is tucked toward your chest. Keep the fingers interlaced behind you, maybe lifting the wrist away from the back, maybe letting your hands rest. One more round of breath here, breathing into the back of your neck. Imagine that space getting longer. Release your hands, give your wrists a nice little shake, bring your head back to center, and let's come into a squat. So curling the toes, come onto the balls of your feet, and then take your knees nice and wide. Use your elbows to press your knees apart, press your hands together. Let your fingertips find each other, and then press into them. Try to pull your shoulders away from your ears, create as much space between your shoulders and your ears as you can. And then imagine you're drawing a line down your chest with the tips of your thumb. You can kind of round your back here and find some length from your tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. And now reach the hands out in front of you. Grip the mat or grip the floor, whatever your fingertips are touching. Try to pull your hips back as you lengthen out. Try to drop your head down. Just a nice big stretch. Leave your left hand down. Sweep your right arm up. Just a big opening of the chest toward the wall next to you. Try to look up at your hands. One more round of breath. Big inhale, big exhale. If you want, you can drop that hand behind you. And then come on back to center, and we'll inhale the other hand up, opening up the chest. You can take that hand behind you if you like. You'll rotate your arms so the back of your hand is against your low back. One more round of breath on this side. And back to center we come. Let's make our way into the arm balance that we've worked on a lot. So I think pretty much every class we've done, we've worked this pose, crow pose, or Bakasana, into our flow somehow. So plant your hands. If this is your first time doing crow, you don't have to lift your feet away. And arm balance is when we balance on our hands. In this particular arm balance, our knees are supported by our arms. So you can rock back and forth. I kind of think of this as step one, just getting used to that transfer of weight, feeling your weight come from your feet into your hands. And you might accidentally kind of catch the balance here. So a good way to practice this, if you've got a pillow handy, or if you want to play with this at home and use a pillow, you can have that or a blanket or anything at all in front of you. And when you come into the balance, hands are planted, you've got your knees on the backs of your arms, or you can squeeze your arms with your knees. If you feel like picking your feet up, but you're a little afraid of toppling over, this takes care of that because you can just kind of bloop into the cushion. All right, so let's try that again. Hands planted, fingers nice and wide. Don't let your elbows go out to the side. Keep them going straight back, just like we did when we lowered down, like that. Same idea. You want your elbows hugged in really tight. Knees on the backs of the arms, or again, you can squeeze the outer arms with your knees, whichever one works better for you. If you want to come all the way into the balance, let your feet start to come up. Try to squeeze your big toes together behind you. And this is all in the low belly. Think about doing a crunch. So when we crunch, we think about sort of rounding the back, bringing the knees into the chest like that. So this is your crow pose, this shape right here. It's all this muscle. So while we're here, let's take a little trip on our boat pose. So this is called Navasana, or boat pose. You can always bring your hands down for some extra support. Try to lengthen out your legs. You can have your knees a little bit bent if you want. On an inhale, we're going to lengthen out. And then on our exhale, we're going to come back to the top. If you want to take your hands away, it'll make it a lot harder. But there we are. So inhale to lengthen. Exhale to come all the way up. Try not to round your shoulders like I'm doing. Try to keep the back nice and long. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to come up. Inhale to lengthen. Go as fast as you want. Exhale to come up. You can go slower than this, or you can go faster, but try to keep the form as much as you can. And don't forget, you can have your hands down. That makes this a lot more doable. All right, one more time. We're gonna hold it at the top for 3 and 2 and 1. Let the feet come down. Fold over your legs. Ha. And just breathe here. That was a lot of work. So give yourself a few rounds of breath, as much as you need. And then when you're ready, inhale to roll up. And let's just take a little bit to play around with this pose. So keeping that idea of using the muscles of the low belly to pull the knees into the chest, to control your legs, in other words. Plant your hands, take the knees to the backs of the arms, or you can squeeze and start to lift the feet. You can always leave one foot down here. You can have both feet down and just kind of play with, again, going back and forth. It can be a big rock, or it can be a little rock. And then when you're ready, your feet will come up and you'll find some stability here. And don't be afraid if you feel kind of scared by this pose. That's completely natural, and with practice, that'll go away and it will get much easier. So if you like that sort of thing, arm balances, that's a good one to try and play with. So let's give our wrists some love. That's a lot of work for these fragile little joints. So give your wrists a good squeeze. And then taking the backs of your hands down, use your knees to sort of massage out your wrist, the base of your thumb, your palm, all of those spaces in your hand and your wrist. You can do it one at a time or together, whatever works best for you. We're just applying pressure to the wrist while it's in the opposite position from that arm balance to sort of balance things out. All right, so after you've kind of massaged your wrist with your knees, let's come back up and then just take the backs of the hands together. Rotate your hands around a few times. Just take your time and then shake your hands. Shake, shake, shake. Shake them till they're blurry. And then maybe another squeeze for good measure. All right, so that was a lot of work. Boat pose and crow pose is a lot of abdominal work, these muscles right in the center of your core. So from here, let's start to make our way back into down dog. Walk your feet back. Take a few rounds of breath here, maybe crouch down low, come back up, maybe wiggle the hips from side to side, whatever feels good to you. And we're going to work on a pose called Warrior 3. So the base of your next exhalation, step your right foot forward. We'll start in Warrior 1. So inhale the arms up. And then exhale your hands to heart center. Pull your hands in. Press into that front foot and let that back leg start to lift. You can always have your hands down here while you find the pose. So if you notice your hips opening up, try to drop that hip down. We want the hips in this closed position, nice and level, so it can help to turn the toes of that high leg toward your standing leg. And you can even use your hand to press your hip down. If you're ready, you can take your hands away, pull them into your chest, or extend them out. Keep breathing. got this. Good job. Let your hands come down. Let's take a few little hops here. So just like when we played with crow, you can rock forward and rock back. Rock forward, that back leg is still in the air, rock back. And then if you want to take a few hops, you're going to press into that front foot, take that high leg up. And let's just do 3 little hops here. These can be tiny little hops like this, or they can be big hops. You try to find some balance here. All right, let's come on down. Start to bend your front knee. Reach that back leg back so you're in a lunge. Make sure your knee is directly over your ankle. There's a nice straight line there. Inhale the arms up. Exhale your hands together. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to twist toward that bent knee. Try to hook your elbow to the outside of your thigh. Press the hands together. Now let that back knee come down. Slide that front foot in front. And then swing your back leg around. So you're sitting on your hip. All right. Inhale the arms up. Exhale. Let's twist to the opposite side. 2 more deep rounds of breath here. Inhale your way back to center. Plant your hands. Let's move through a sun salutation or a vinyasa. So come into plank. Take an inhale. Don't be afraid to have your knees down. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the chest. Press the tops of the feet down. Look up and then exhale back to down dog. Full round of breath in down dog. And then step your left foot forward, spin that back heel down. Inhale your way up to warrior 1. Hands to heart center. Start to let that back leg lift up, so we're back to warrior 3. You can use your hand to press that hip down like that. And then maybe the arms go out. Maybe you have your hands together at your heart. Wherever you are, perfectly good. Just stay there. Try to reach forward through the crown of your head, back through those toes, your back toes. Make a long line with your body. Good. Start to bend this front knee. Reach the back foot back into our high lunge on this side. Inhale the arms and hands to heart center. Inhale to lift, and then exhale to twist. Try to press the hands together, create some pressure. Press back through your back heel. 1 more round of breath. Let the back knee come down. Slide that front ankle in front, and then come to sit on your hip. Pull your heels in. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, twist. Inhale your way back to center. From here, swing your feet around behind you. And then let's make our way into an easy seat. So let your ankles cross, or you can have one foot up here in your hip crease. Let the backs of your hands rest down on your thighs. Take a few moments to just circle your head around. Nice and slow. Feeling your heart rate slow down and your breath slow down. Interlace your fingers. Press the palms up toward the ceiling. Try to reach up through your hands, but slide the shoulders down your back at the same time. Breathe deeply. Let's lean to one side. Don't let yourself slump. Try to control the movement with these muscles in the side of your waist. 1 more round of breath. Drop down as low as you can without letting the hip pop up. Inhale your way back to center. Exhale, lean to the other side. Keep breathing, keep stretching as low as you can go without lifting that hip. Inhale your way back to center. This time as you exhale, round the spine. Press your hands out in front of you like this. Line your ears up with your arms. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round the spine. Just move at your own pace. Take your time here. We jumped into our practice standing up. So this is our chance to sort of relax, just be on our mat, in our space, whatever that looks like. One more time. Really press the hands forward as you exhale. Feel your navel pulling back, and then relax. Release your hands, shake out your wrists, wiggle your fingers a little bit. And from here, slide your feet out nice and wide. Make sure your feet are flexed so your toes are pulling back toward your shins. Inhale to lift the chest, and then exhale to walk your hands forward. When you feel that tension in your inner thigh, in your groin get a little bit too much, feels like you're right on the edge, stop there and just take a few rounds of breath. You may find as you ease into this pose that you can go a little bit farther forward. You may decide that it feels like too much and you back up out of it. Just listen to your legs and your hips. Try to relax your head. 3 more rounds of breath here. Inhale, roll your way back up, nice and slow, and now draw the soles of your feet together. Open up your toes like a little book so your pinky toes are together. Pull your big toes apart, take a big inhale, and then exhale to come forward. You can have your arms out in front of you if you like. You can hold on to your ankles or your feet, whatever feels better to you. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Inhale your way back up. Use your hands to draw your knees together. Let's make our way onto our back. So slide your feet out. Let your feet just drop open. Take the palms of the hands open toward the sky. Try to relax your shoulders. And just breathe here, letting your head be nice and heavy. Try to relax the skin around your eyes. Relax your jaw and your shoulders. And just breathe here. Try to let go of any tension you may still feel anywhere in your body. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and ankles. And pulling your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Almost like you could kiss your knees and then roll to one side. Slowly push your way back up to seated. Let your hands rest down on your thighs, relaxing the shoulders. Try to relax your jaw. Now bringing the hands together at your heart. Taking one last big round of breath. Pressing all the stale air out on your exhale. Thank you for coming to practice with me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Namaste.